Yeah, but the biggest issue is it's not that compatible, and my new stuff that I'm doing, and they don't even support Windows 10. So they want Windows 8 and stuff like that. So, oh, come on. I'm finding it very tough. Mouse is not properly working, and I have to use another one. Oh, it's all a mess for me now. And I'm not sure how to handle this. So, okay, if I see this, I can see your chat, and then okay, yeah, somehow it's fine. Can you guys see big data development screen now? Oh man, how is this now? It's not enough. I don't think it does give it in the presentation mode. Okay, so let me check the chat. How can we change the PWD in the Hadoop environment? Okay, so okay. Yep, it's visible. Okay, so yeah, I got confirmation from Mac and this thing. Time is 9:06. So let's quickly recap or get those questions cleared. See, just make sure you're even asking a very basic questions. Okay, so no issues in that. Okay, so how can we change the present working directory in Hadoop environment? Okay, first question. Let's pick that up. Working directory. So if I'm going to do PWD over here now, oh, what do you meant to say? Like you want to change? Yeah, this is in Hadoop. Okay. You're talking about when you do an HDSF. No, there is no such command. So Hadoop. So one thing that you need to understand is whatever Unix command that you're seeing over here, HDFS, DFS minus LS, everything. See a lot of I mean, it's exactly the Linux or the Unix command that you can see over here, right? But in reality, that's not the case. So what is happening is they have made an additional command for Hadoop environment, which looks exactly same as Unix environment, so that there is an intuitive, the people who are working on it and whoever is an experienced Unix programmer, they can utilize those commands. So basically a Java wrapper is being built on top of it, which exactly does it. Okay, so that's what been done. So it's not a real Unix command that's working over here. It's a wrapper, but so the wrapper, when I say it's not for any Unix command or Linux command, they have used it. So they have picked up the most important required one, which they think it's been really required for the Hadoop environment. They've taken it up and created corresponding commands. Okay. So I'm assuming that's clear for you guys. So you don't have a present working directory. So if I do this, yeah, this is how you get what exactly is the present working directory for you. So just like when I do a home, right, which is the tilde sign. So CD tilde sign, right? This is exactly in HDFS, DFS minus LS. And if I don't give anything, it's going to take me to that directory, the home directory, basically. Exactly. Yeah, that's what the Hadoop environment is created. So another way of seeing it, hope I've covered it. Other way of seeing it, it would be when I do oh man, it's so much pain. Yeah, 50070. Okay, and I'm doing this. So I'm assuming everyone is aware of this by now. I click on utilities, browse the file system, right? So this is where, I mean, to answer Vikalp's question much more easy for. So the moment you see this is exactly the root stuff what you're seeing, right? Yeah. Okay. let's move on to the topic now then. So everyone had a chance to work around, or is there anyone over here? So, I mean, who is finding a little tough to get into the environment, play around with any sort of issue that anyone is facing? Let's quickly make a two minutes of time in case if anyone is finding any sort of, or everyone is able to get into the pig environment and start exploring and stuff like that, or still anyone. So make sure you see this session, maybe this session or the next session, it's not going to create a lot of issue with it. But then when you're moving forward to the remaining sessions, it's going to be a real hurdle, and then you slowly start losing interest to stuff. So I just don't want that to happen. So anyone facing any sort of an interest, I mean, issues getting into the environment or dirtying your hands, running some commands, something of that sort. So since everyone is silent, I'm assuming everyone is fine with the environment right now. How to copy files from PC VM? So now I may have to check. Every environment differs. So till now I was using what is it called? Cloudera VM instance. So just a second, guys. I just need to attend a call right now. Sorry for it. So maybe each and every one of you can start sharing this information. Hold on, please. Can you call mommy and say I'm on a call? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so what I was saying in Cloudera VM, we were able to automatically do it. But what I heard from a Cadgil, our support desk is support desk inform me. I mean, the direct copy paste is going to work, but there is some sort of a slight setting changes that is required. So even I'll try to get this stuff updated and let you guys know. So in case if you're planning for it, if your system can hold, if it's an 8 GB RAM stuff, I'm answering Vikal's question. Which version of the Cloudera I have? 5.4.4, I guess. I'm just trying to recollect my memory and stuff like that. So I'm slightly out of place now. Okay, that would be the best one to go ahead with. No issues, Preetham. So once you're back with the session, recordings, you should be able to. Because even I was out for last week. So pretty much we have missed some 2 to 3 sessions. So we are catching up after quite some time. So you're fine. All right, let's move on to. So I'm assuming every of you got a chance to play around with the pig environment, pig command and stuff like that. Oh, before that. Oh. Okay. Okay. So anyone has the document in place where I sent a document for setting up the VM environment? Can you guys, one of you can paste the command where we need to start up the job history server? It'd be a great help. No. The command which we need to start. So there was a set of commands. So I'm going to do a sudo now and show you all where we are. So let me close this window browser. And yeah, if I do a JPS command, what's happening is, so I'm getting data node, name node, resource manager, and node manager, and secondary name node. So basically I have every of the step, but there was a command for, we need to update job history server. Yeah, when you do a start all.sh, you'll get all this thing start up, but you need to separately start job history server. And I'm assuming everyone know what exactly is the job history server. So if you look into that document which I sent, any of you, if you have that document in place, otherwise I might have to search it. As I told, since my environment is completely changed, I'll have to dig in, and since I don't want to waste some time, that's why I'm asking in case someone has it. It's the last command in the document. second last command or something which is mentioned in the document. So how to start job history server. So basically what's happening is when Yarn came into picture, okay, I'm assuming everyone is able to visualize job tracker, task tracker, and all those stuff like that, okay, and which has been replaced by resource manager, node manager, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a command, man. Manoj, thank you. So this should be from where? I need to log in to the Hadoop environment, right? Just before this, there is a mention of a CD command over there. Oh man, this not even a right click is working for me. That's real pain. Paste, no paste. Yeah, so basically what's okay, yeah, I have to do that. So no, I don't think this is sitting over here. It should be in somewhere in Hadoop environment. So I'm not sure where exactly is the environment now. So you see, you understand this command, right? Dot mr history dot message. It's going to pick up from the current directory. So I have to traverse through that place and then do it. Correct? So right now I'm sitting in, where did I send that? Where did I send it? I really can't see it. Okay, so should it work? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so mr -job history -demo. So the issue is if I don't start a job history server, it depends on installation by installation. So basically what's happening over here, it's not able to connect to the big environment. So it'll keep giving you an error stating do you guys have the document? So if you could just send it back to me. Yeah, just send it back to me in the same email which I sent to you guys. Okay, you have my email ID, right? Yeah, just send it back to me. I'll pick that up from there. Okay, so basically, who doesn't did not get the job history funder part correct? So what's happening is, I'm assuming you have the application manager and resource manager concept in place. Okay, so previously what was happening is, when a task tracker was handling all this stuff, okay, remember those diagram, job tracker and task. Job tracker and task tracker was handling execution jobs. Okay, so what was happening, once the completion of job happens, still log was available completely. Okay, so what it means is 10 hours back, if I had ran some job, I have complete log information of what exactly happened 10 hours back. Okay, but when Yarn came into picture, entire stuff started taking up by application manager. Application manager is the whole and sole responsible for any of the tasks that's running. So if I submit a new job, who is taking care of it? Application manager. And think of an example. Only for 5 minutes, this particular job is running. Are you guys in sync? If not in sync, just make sure you're updating me so that I don't have my drawing also available now. Okay, so yeah, so basically what's happening, for 5 minutes a job is running, which is controlled by application manager. Visualize application manager from our old diagram. Okay, application manager is taking care of it. Only for that 5 minutes, application manager will have entire information. The moment the task is completed, application manager is dead. Okay, and I do not have, yeah, I can use Paint. Application manager doesn't support anymore. I mean, is not going to support that particular task anymore, and no information is available. So what will happen? That particular log or the running cycle information, statistics of that entire thing is being flushed out. Okay. So what will happen when a new job is being submitted? So basically, when Preetham is going to submit first job, when Mac is going to submit next job, at that moment of time, 5 minutes execution, I'll have entire information. The moment job is completed, all information is wiped out. So, but scenario, that should not be the case, right? Even I would have on 10 I might have to get that information somewhere. So for that purpose, voice is not clear, is it? For that purpose, I need to use job history server. But here, what is happening is it's being tied up with the pig. There is some sort of a configuration link between in this particular installation. So that's the reason we have to bring up the job history server before we do the pig command. Who's this? Vikalp. I hear. So is that the case with everyone, or is it there is some issue in the connection stuff? You are able to hear me properly? Okay, got the thanks guys. Yeah, see, now you guys are teaching me. So where exactly was this? Yeah, all these things are done. I'm bringing up my command, and JPS is done. All this stuff. See what I see over here. JPS. All those things are existing. And now next part is this guy. Okay, this is what he said. Okay. Okay, so why is it not picking up directly from the MI job history hyphen message? Let me try using that. So that's exactly what is being pinged by you guys, right? So let me go back to CD home. Yeah, someone told that just a CD should work, right? Yeah, now if I type in the command which you've given, no, it's not. Okay, I should have the command over here now. MR job history hyphen daemon start. Okay, otherwise only option left is I need to go to that location. It's I think it's CD user. What's it that's giving me? Why is it not tab? Okay, it's documents. No, there should be tab in the environment. I'm just trying to. So how did I figure out that stuff is? That's in the web. Is it okay? Yeah. See, it's logging to this particular location. So this is where exactly I would be able to see this. MR job history. So user local two. So ls. cd hadoop. Let me try doing that. Downloads Hadoop music space public. My mouse is not synchronous to my. Why is that not happening? Giving me Hadoop user. Okay, cd/user local Hadoop this thing. Okay, got it. I was using the wrong guy. I should have gone to root. /local /Hadoop ls. There exactly now. Okay, it's a command running stuff. Okay, at least what I'll do is I'll just pick up. Anyways, don't want to delay the last step. So what we'll try doing is there is a step-by-step instruction command. We'll try to of that for the time being. Advanced join and trick. Okay. And what we can do is at least one of you guys can, whoever I set it up, we can just try to get this executed. Okay. So in the past sessions we have been talking about the joins, right? So did anyone try using those join commands, or try playing around with the environment and doing some join stuff like that? Just getting used to this environment. Okay. Okay, let me just give it a try without starting it housing me. I think it's going to connect me. Yeah, this is the kind of error which they're resulting into. So okay, we can just give it a try. Okay, so let's get the correct in, so that in case even if we want to do it, anyone whoever want to get it executed, you can get it executed by your own. Okay, so in our previous sessions, I'm assuming none of you have actually created a join or anything of that sort, right? So what we did in the previous sessions, you guys are able to recollect what we did in terms of Hive. I really can't see your someone ping me in chat. Okay, I can see. Yeah. So what we did, we have loaded some data, did some aggregation and stuff like that, right? So now what we're trying to cover over here is the two data set. If a two table comes into picture, how exactly are we going to join that? That's exactly what we're going to see over here. So hope everyone is in sync what exactly we're trying to accomplish over here. Two table. So normally in your SQL environment, whoever is the SQL expert, so normally what we do, you have a table A, table B. There might be a primary column and a second foreign key, right? So what we do, we just merge it, select from join command. So that actually can be done using the big environment. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to see over here. And there are three different kind of joining function. One thing that you need to remember over here is, when I speak about join, when I speak about pig, when I speak about Hive or any of this environment, behind the scene, it's just a MapReduce running. Okay, behind the scene, a corresponding Java program is getting created, and then a MapReduce is getting executed. Is that stuff clear? I mean, there is a big point in understanding that. Or you want to try that? Let's try doing that. Oh, maybe slightly different from here installation. But thanks, Vikal, for your support. Because this has been a customized environment for the CAD build. So some of those commands I had to where exactly environment and stuff like that. So just don't. In case if you have parallel environment, you can try doing this stuff. But just try to understand what is the concept now over here. So we are talking about join type. Okay, all this while what we have done in using pig is taking a data, which is nothing but think of an Excel file or the CSV file. We have loaded into the pig environment. We have run some filter command. Then we have stored. I mean, did a dump command. Then it loaded limit command, and then we loaded into the. Stored into the back to the HDFS. Okay, so that's one single file we're handling and doing some sort of analytics on top of it. So now what we're trying, if I have two table, it's exactly two table. Okay, and you should have a common key or something in place. So how exactly? So step-by-step instruction is given over here. So I really wanted to show that, but since I did not really apologize, since I had all this environment screwed up for me, but I'll make sure it was pretty late getting all those environments set up. It took me almost 4 hours to get things downloaded and stuff like that. That's where I missed some of this stuff. But anyways, So it should be a pretty straightforward stuff. Looking into this document, you can just download this file and you can download this small file as well. Now, what concept what you're going to talk about is replicator join. Okay, uh, which is the PowerPoint in this one? Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can. Now the biggest problem is my mouse is not supporting this scenario, so that's where all the things coming. What the fuck is happening? Okay, so replicator join. How I want to show you is where do I get a? Okay, this is shapes. Okay, let's not make it too flashy and all those things. So I just want to make the concept pretty clear to you guys. So that's all. So this is my one table. This is my another table. Okay. Uh-oh. This is my another table. Okay. So this is the first scenario what we're going to talk about for the first scenario, which is nothing but the replicator join. You need to understand that I have two data sets. One is a huge data set and another one is a small data set. Okay. So when that kind of a scenario comes in, okay, everyone is clear with the case what you're talking about, right? Huge data set and a small data set. And such kind of a scenario comes in, what sort of an approach you need to take? Okay, you can use any of this applicable information, but what will happen is your performance is going to degrade if you don't utilize exactly the same thing what is being meant for. Okay, so in this kind of a scenario, says you have one huge data set and another small data set, you have to go for replicator join. Okay, and what do you mean by replicator join? That's what we're going to explain now. This is the one. Okay, so I have master and all those things I'm going to leave about now. So understand that I have 3 computers available. I'll make sure I just get used to this environment and learn how to change colors and all those things. So right now I don't want to disturb time doing that. I think this should be the one, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this, let me bring in one more computer over here. Okay. And maybe one more. What you need to understand now is our whole and sole intention is doing a replicator join. Oh, okay. Oh, you asked for paint. Okay, okay. I realize it's PowerPoint. Okay, let's now stick on to this and go ahead. So this was data set. This is our one huge data set, small data set. So in the real time scenario, what's going to happen? This will be chopped down into multiple parts. Okay, and then we are going to like some parts of this is created. One part will be here, another part will be here, another here. Right? Everyone is clear with that concepts, right? Make sure you put a yes or no, guys, so that I can assume that you're understanding it, or if you want to start. Okay, okay. So now what we got it? This particular file is being cut down, so that is okay. What is that particular stuff called? Cutting down this particular one and storing into different nodes. What exactly is this each of this chunk called? Yeah, input split is when you're actually going to process it. But in terms of storage, what exactly is? So if I have a 64 MB, what I call for exactly block size. Yeah, that's correct. So for 64 MB blocks, that is being stored in this particular file, right? Now the concept of replicated join is this particular guy who is small. Okay, so maybe I would say this is maybe 1 GB. Okay, 1 GB of data. This is maybe some 64 or maybe 100 GB of data is this one. But this 1 GB of data, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this copied multiple times. Okay, let me try to bring in exactly the same time, and I'm going to place it into each of these guys when I'm going to do the processing. Why is one X hiding behind? That's strange. Oh man. Yeah, just understand that. Come on. Control C, Control V. Okay. Yeah. So this is exactly what is happening now. So okay, this small portion will be fragmented everywhere, but the other one will be copied, the entire data set. So try to understand when I say this complete data set is getting copied into the memory, directly to the memory. Okay, we are going to see even this in the Java when an advanced MapReduce concept is going to come in. Okay, so that time you have to recollect exactly the same diagram, same concept. So now I'm assuming everyone got this concept, and then in the map phase, this join is going to take place. So what do I mean by saying that? Now when the processing starts, joining. I'm assuming everyone understand what exactly is the joining happening. I mean, that's my bad. So I should have asked that. So everyone does understand what exactly is the join concept. Let's talk only with the inner join. Is there any understand it? So I mean, I spend more time, but in case, see, you are all from a wide variety of environment, wide variety of experience. So in case if you don't understand it, please make sure you're raising your hands, stating that, yeah, you don't understand what exactly. Because in case if you understand it, that'll be a waste of time. So I don't want to do that. But any of you don't understand it, I'm definitely going to give you a flavor of it. So I don't feel bad for, okay, I don't understand it, because you all come from a wide variety of experience. You might be expertise in some other field. So there's no harm in, okay. So no one is having issue with repeat, repeat and brief. All right. Okay. So let's make it as a very quick, pretty quick. I don't want to spend much on time. Still, if you don't understand, we'll try to say this is one table. This is my another table. Okay. And then let's change color. So it's a little tough to explain this. Yeah. So what is the join stuff? Whichever is the common, when I do, we are just talking about inner join now. Okay. So I'm not pretty good how to do this. So when I speak of inner join, yeah, it's a common field. Okay, the common field, whatever is being common for both those things is what inner join is. And when I say left outer join, what will happen is this guy, the common part over here, plus this left guy going to come in. And when I say right outer join, so this guy, the middle guy is going to come in. Okay, so we are talking about the inner join. So both when it's common for both the guys, that's fine, no issues. Okay, so that's what we call it as. So now over here, when I do a join, what is going to happen? Whichever is the common field will be taken up, processing it, and then a result is being given out. So I'm assuming you guys are clear with previous processing stuff, right? You guys remember we have drawn an old figure where the processing of this particular computer created a file, something of this sort down. For each and every node created a file. I'm assuming you remember that stuff. Then that will be picked up by, and that will be nothing but a reduce, and that will be clubbed together by the reducer. So even you write a pig script behind the scene, this is exactly what is happening. Okay. So now let's what we need to do is, make sure you all try this out before the Thursday session. Okay, even I'll get this all environment stuff and all those things set up. So it won't even take you exactly 20 minutes for a practice thing. This you need to download. Anyway, I have downloaded all those things. But yeah, so this is the text file containing. Okay, I have the text file available with me. But yeah, some goof up. And the remaining is IP address and the country code, which is a very small file. And then you're going to do a replicated join. And the concept, I'm assuming everyone got it, what exactly is the concept. So pretty simple stuff, simple step what you're going to run over here. And make sure you're able to, there is a minor misunderstanding there for the script, okay? Because when they prepared the document, here and there, so good learning for you to correct the document yourself. That was not, to be frank, the intention, but yeah, you can use that as an intention now. So what is happening here? Loading it. the entire text file, and the next smaller data set is all getting loaded to IP country table. So both data is being loaded over here, right? Fully loaded. This is exactly what is being picked up as replicated. This using replicated is what making it as a replicated, right? So this guy is the one that is being using replicated. So is this clear? Anyone having this doubts on it? This stuff. Anyway, you have to practice this up using this thing, using this particular document. So everything is documented line by line. So you just need to copy paste it. But okay, yes, a good question, Max. So if you don't mention replicated, it's going to what it's going to do? It's going to treat both. So it's going to cut this guy also, store it over here in every of this, and start picking up. This will go pick it up from here and then bring it, doing the job. Not sure if I made perfect sense of it. If it's not replicated, my same visual stuff. So what will happen is, where is the line now? Is there a line? Yeah, there is a line. So what will happen? This also will get cut into that many number of pieces and all those things, right? Can I, if I put a line, will it come? Yeah, it's coming. But why is it over here? I draw like this. Oh, come on, man. Just assume that. Let me also get used to this environment. So what I'm trying to say is, here, if you think there's 1, 2, there's a 2 part of it. Okay. So 3 part will come over here. 1 part is going to come over here. Another part is going to come over here. Okay. You're forcing me to take paint. But yeah, sorry, I don't want to spend time over exploring that, but I just want to make sure you understand the concept. That being said, let me quickly do that then. So if I use this small guy and then make exactly the same shape, and yeah, so this is one guy, right? So this will be one guy. Similar wise, I'll have Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, 3 guys, right? So I have split this into 3 different environments, correct? Is this concept clear? Splitting up into 3 different environments. This is nothing but my block size, correct? And that will get stored. One of this guy will come over here, another guy is going to come over here, another guy is going to come over here, right? And then, right? And then if I'm going to do a join, what will happen? This data, this also will have exactly similar pieces. So this will have to go to the next computer, in case it sits in the next computer, take the data, come back over here, do the computing. This will have to go over here, take the data, come back. So this is going to be a very time-consuming stuff. In case if one of your data is small, it's never recommended to do this. Right? Hope you're getting the concept in. But this will be faster when compared to the traditional way of doing a joining. So basically, think of in an Oracle system, you have 1 billion records for a customer for CDR data. I might be calling more of the example from telecom stuff, because that's where my domain. So CDR data, it's nothing but as and when any customer makes a call, 1 record will get generated. So that when you accumulate together, it will be almost billions and billions of records. That, and just if you want to pull out 1 single record out of it, or maybe you have says this telephone number directly can be mapped to a customer name. So basically, my telephone number can be. So if that sort of a join is being done, it's 1 billion record being compared to maybe another, how much? An Airtel customer base, maybe a million or something. So that 1 billion to a million, each data needs to be up and front, need to go back and forth, and needs to do a transfer, which is very, very time consuming. In digital way, it may even take you maybe 7 to 8 hours or something of that sort. But with the Hadoop map reduce system, it may be ending up doing it in three hours or maybe 1 or 2 hours time period. But if you would have intelligently used the replicated one, you could have done it in maybe minutes time, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. You would have been able to do the stuff completed. So did that answer your question, Mac? Or is that a confusing part? Uh, I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Okay, in that case, we knew with the data volume in advance before opting the kind of exact. So that anyways you need to have. You need to know what sort of a data you're dealing with. So basically, the moment you get into a environment, so you might be knowing, right? So if you an else command, yeah, when you have to know when you do an ls command, so that's definitely going to give you how much of the data is sitting and all those things, right? ls minus lrt is going to give you, okay, what is the file size and how much is the data is sitting anyway, it's going to give you. So yeah. Yeah, because in Hadoop environment, if you're dealing with something, if you're trying to process the most thing, you are going to file size because that's when exactly what you're trying to see. At any instance of time, you realize, okay, there's some KB of data that has been played around. Hadoop will give you an adverse performance, right? So you understand that fact. If the file is small, it's going to give you. So if the file is small and if you're trying to do it in Oracle, it'll give you in fraction of time. So yeah, there's a typical use case where we had. I think it was Netisa, or I don't remember which was exact. So it was giving us the result in 3.5 seconds. Okay, exactly the same thing was being run in Hadoop environment. It was taking us 17 minutes. So when we are trying to do some extrapolate of data and all those things, so there are use cases where Hadoop is giving you a degraded performance. So you need to typically understand how much of our data is are you. So that should be the first and foremost requirement for you guys when you are handling the Hadoop environment and knowing the data. The volume of the data, and then what sort of the data coming up with. So that's something key stuff which we need to know. So I'm assuming. So make sure you're executing this. Any issues even tomorrow, you send me a note across. Anywhere you're finding it tough, this thing, so that even the support desk or I'll try to get that sorted out. So straight to command. So at times what you can see is they may not have used exactly the same variable. So I'm just giving you a hint where things are wrong at some of the script. Okay. So you need to, that should be some minor stuff that you need to correct yourself and execute it. I'm assuming everyone is able to understand what exactly, at least to load it and just to display it. That's the first thing you need to try out. And I'm assuming everyone would have done that in the pig environment. Everyone has logged into the pig environment, by the way, at least once. No. Yeah. So loading would have. So if you would have logged in, you would have definitely tried loading some data, doing some. Okay. The best command to run is load data, do a limit, and do a dump and do a store. So this doesn't need any of your 1 point of your IQ to be for it, right? Remaining stuff is what you really need to. And here you're actually doing some sort of. I think someone was interested in regex. Yeah, there is a regex command given over here. So in case if you follow this document, you'll be doing some interesting stuff. Okay. It would be nice if I was able to show you guys and then this thing. But this document is so well prepared that just copy paste it. You should be able to get it up and running. Okay, sample script for replicated join. So let's discuss what exactly is being done over here. Yeah, this is all the fundas what use data, fragmenting data itself, and all those things. You can read this one, I mean, in case you're interested. Otherwise, if you understand the concept, you can just leave it as it is. Loading data, you guys are all familiar with how exactly the loading happens, right? Loading two data set, I mean, one big and one small data set. That's both are being loaded. Now using replicated, we know so, but make sure you understand this one. This should be coming in together, okay? This is the command by which it's making this particular IP country table, right? That was our small table, IP country table. And that is the table which we want to replicator join. Oh man, where is it running? Where is it? Yeah. IP country table by replicated. One thing I showed you, so whenever you want to do a join, okay? So in case those of you who are not very familiar, so think of that first table which had 3 columns, second table which had 5 columns, right? But one column will be the one which will be used for joining both. Everyone is okay with that concept, right? One table, like employee ID, department ID, and the department ID will be the primary key in the next table, and that is what we are join, right? Everyone is fine with that. Or if I talk about CDR data, the call record, I want to find out who is the actual guy who is called it instead of his number. So what will happen? My CDR data or the call record data will contain only my telephone number. Okay, and then the number. So what I'm do, I'll take the telephone number, then there will be another table which will say customer base, which will have my telephone number and my name will be their corresponding name. Telephone number from the first table will be matched with the telephone number of the second table, and then the telephone number will get replaced with my name, right? That's how exactly a joining is done. Is that fine, or is it too much of a funda? So that common column which we have to be used for join, that's what exactly what we're trying to explain over here, and that is nothing but IP over here. So do I have a sample data mentioned over here? So you can see over here, first column is IP address in my first data set, okay? And see the second data set. In the second data set, IP and country, right? IP address and country. So IP address will be the one which I'm going to compare with each other. So I'm assuming it's pretty straightforward stuff. You are much smarter than that. So I don't think I need to explain too much of it. All right. Once that is done, you should be able to, just try to figure out how exactly. So you will not be able to figure out any sort of a difference over here. You will see exactly the similar way output. So behind the scene, what you need to understand is behind the scene, what's really happening. So replicated is the key thing, which you learned over here now. Okay. So everyone fine with replicated. That's my assumption. Now, the next step is the merge join, where the scenario which I explained just after with the max question, what will happen if in case if I don't mention merge? Sorry, yeah. If I don't mention replicated, right? That's exactly, so this is exactly the merge join going to come in picture if I don't mention it. So this is what's going to happen. So the scenario, what we example that we explained the previous, what's going to happen in the merge. So merge, I'll have data, and every of this process is happening in map phase. Okay, so everyone understand the mapper and reducer, right? So even here, you need to bring in exactly the same thing. So in the mapper phase, it's happening. In the reducer phase, everything is being clubbed together. So merge join is pretty straightforward. So the one which I explained is what happening during the merge join. Okay. So one thing which I want to focus over here is now skewed join. That's something. And what I want to tell you is, in case whenever you're trying to execute it, you're not going to see any of the difference other than some of the statistics difference what you see in terms of Hadoop count or something. There might be a slight sort of a difference that you're going to see. Other than that, nothing. In terms of your output result or anything, everything looks exactly the same. Okay, so only thing you need to understand, behind the scene or behind the hood, this is exactly what's happening. So that's all you need to understand. The skew stuff, you need to understand a little bit more. So what exactly you mean by skewed data? I understand what exactly you mean by skewed data? Skewed data. So let's typically example, yeah. Let's take a typical example of if you would have picked up the population data, what will happen is in case if you jot down the country-wise population. So we're going to take it as Japan, India, and what? So if the key is going to be the country, okay, country if it's the key, what will happen? For specifically for India, there might be 1.5 billion records, right? And for China also, it's going to touch around 1.7 billion, I guess. I don't have the exact figure in place. So these two countries will have a huge amount of data, correct? The remaining US, UK, and all those things, there might be a minor data coming up. So what is going to happen for some, okay, some scenarios, there might be multiple occurrence of exactly the same thing, whereas there may be one or two occurrences. So if you want to explain it through a diagram, or not through a diagram, okay. We have a powerful Excel sheet. No. What exactly is happening? Sure, Excel. Yes, I'm exiting the wizard. Excel sheet, pick it up. Excel 16. Okay, so now what I was talking about, so like US, and India. So if I look at the population or any other such kind of a data, I may have too many data coming up for this, right? So data, it's not evenly distributed. That's exactly what I mean by that. It's not even distributed. One concept that you need to understand is, let's bring in Japan too now, right? Japan have some two data. Okay. So now you need to understand the master concept over here. Okay. Are you able to picturize? So think of a scenario where I had three nodes over here. Okay. My data, three of my data set is going to go and sit in the three different reducer mode. Okay. What I mean by that? Our previous session, right? So I'm assuming in the earlier sessions which we explained, I have n number of mapper, right? I have 4 mapper or something running and 1 reducer running, right? So in the real production environment, in case if you want to improve my performance, I'm going to have multiple reducer too, right? So what's going to happen is, you remember how exactly a data is going to go to the reducer part? Okay, I think that comes even in that's advanced sessions. But can you, looking at this data, whichever we jotted down, if I have 3 reducer in place, how exactly my data is, with an intuition, how exactly you think the data will go for each reducer? I have 3 reducer in place now. So this is exactly my data, and how exactly the data will be segregated to 3 different reducers. Yeah. So what I want you to understand is, if this is a key for me, okay. Yeah, that's correct. So what I'm trying to ask you is Control B, is it? Okay. Yeah. So basically what you need to understand is this US2, there are 2 US, exactly what you mentioned, Vikal. So this 2 is going to directly travel together and then get into one single. So if this is my node, so if I say this as, what is this? Data node 1. Okay, where my reducer is running, or let's mention it as reducer 1. Okay. Reducer 2. and reducer 3. This is how the setup is. So what will happen? Two of this US is going to come and sit over here. Okay. And the remaining all this guys is going to come and sit over here. Okay. And this to Japan is going to come and sit over here. And how do you need to visualize reducer? It's a 3 different computer, right? By default, how many number of reducer is going to run? By default, how many number of reducers I'll have? If I don't change any parameter, if I don't change any setup, how many number of reducers is going to run for me? Yep, that's correct. So everyone understand that concept is what I assume, right? One reducer. And how many number of, how many? Yeah, so mapper, you may not be able to say that. What determines the mapper? How many number of mapper needs to be executed? What determines how many number of mapper needs to come in? Based on what factor is the number of mapper? Number of paths. I mean by blocks, exactly. So blocks, but I think gave you the answer between. So if an interviewer is going to ask this question, more he would be interested in hearing another part, not really a block. A more refined, more than blocks. What exactly is that? You're pretty close. So blocks comes into picture when we are storing it, and what comes into picture when you're going to process it, when you're going to do a map reduce. What exactly is the term called for that particular? No, not really, not really. Block and task completely different. Block input split, exactly, right? So block is being converted into a logical format, which is an input split, and then it's processing. Pretty good. I mean, that's exact. I mean, that's all the expected. The capturing that you require. Pretty good. I mean, that's all. So at times, I do really wanted to change the role to an interviewer so that you understand in the interview stuff, some basic stuff. So this is not exactly what is being asked by an interviewer, but this is something which an interviewer would like to hear. So in case he's conducting it, some of these very minor terms that he used with which he's able to understand, okay, have you just bookish stuff you're talking about, or you really understand the concept? So make sure you are able to use exactly the same word to an interviewer when you are actually doing that. I mean, that's all. I mean, I think that's one of the key stuff that we need to do with the course. And that's how normally I run it. Okay. All right. So now what you need to understand over here is this guy. These are 3 different guys. So what will happen is this data is what we call as skew data. It's not equally proportioned data. One single reducer need to take a lot of burden over here. Okay. It's a huge, humongous amount of data that's going to sit in. So when you mention it as skewed, using skewed, okay, what's going to happen is internal architecture of the pig will make it somehow. So maybe multiple reducer may run at times, or maybe it will shift the job to some other guy, and it will behave as if performance wise, it's going to split it up this guy into maybe multiple chunks and do a processing. And then finally it will aggregate. But this is completely opaque to the user. User would not know what exactly happening. So he may just mention it as, let's look into the document, just skewed. Using skewed is what he's going to use it. That is it. Explanation. Yeah. So just this is what he's going to do. Job, this by IP, skewed. The moment behind the scene, it's going to kind of architectural wise performance improvement and do it. So another max question over here. So you need to have an intuition of how is your data, what sort of coming up. And Mac, you are a database guy. You are since I'm into too many things, I lost your information slightly. You're into programming. You are into database. No, I was just trying to understand. So Mac had this question, right? What was the question, by the way? He had asked, like, yeah, in case if it's not been used. So do I need to have an intuition of my data? Is the question. So whenever you're going to do a Hadoop programming stuff, so you need to have an intuition of your data. You need to understand which table will contain too many data. So basically, I do understand, right? So the moment I expect a file from my client, so think of an example. I'm going to create a service. I do understand that Airtel customer base information will be small in size for sure, because maybe 1 million customer, right? And my skewed data, my call record data or CDR data will be huge in size. It might be 1 billion. So before getting a file itself, I can make this in advance. Okay. So then I'll do whether I need to do a skewed stuff over here, whether I need to do a join, whether I need to do a merge join, everything I know based on the business scenario. Okay. But in skewed scenario, typical example you can see. So you may have just walk through some random analytics or something of that sort you might be running, and then you're going to figure it out, stating, okay, my data is a pretty skewed one. When I say skewed one, that means one single column, one single key, too much, maybe 20,000 data is there for one, and remaining, we call it in terms, we call it as an outlier. Okay, so that's exactly this. So this is an outlier over here. So basically, too many data. J2E. Okay, so too many data over here for one single, right? So the scenario when I'm going to take this guy and the scene is going to chop it down into multiple parts and then do the processing so that it's do a performance improvement for you. That's exactly what's going to happen. So is this concept clear with everyone? Skewed. I mean, I don't. So you can just go ahead and execute, but that's not going to give you unless and until you strive through the log file and try to figure it out. But you find some. Make sure you're trying to find some sort of similarity over here and try executing stuff. It's pretty much, it's not going to take you more than 10 minutes to execute it. Okay. But it's going to take you understand it is what my, so make sure you all try to execute it so that you can come up with a lot more questions in the next session. Even I'll get my set of groundwork cleared and ready so that we all execute it together. Okay, Preetham's question. In a scenario where we have a big table and a small table, how to figure out what joint either replicated or skewed. So you need to have, I mean, that sort of intuition you need to have with your data. So in case if it's a small one, don't go for the skewed one, because replicated is going to give you a high performance. So I'm assuming everyone got the concept of replicated, right? Replicated inside that particular guy itself is going to do the particular joining, whereas skewed one still it's going to take up a different computer and then going to do it. So anytime replicated will have much better performance. But here also it's based on the situation. Okay, let me put that in a different way. So where exactly a replicated comes into play, where exactly a skewed comes into play. Based on my explanation, anyone able to answer where replicated will play and where skew stuff is going to come in play in the two different architectural difference in the Hadoop environment or the MapReduce environment. When I do a replicated, where exactly the benefit is coming up? Yeah. Don't put in privately, Christian, this thing. If the data is a loss of rows, we use skew. Yes. So anyway, data, that's a very generic statement. So every time when the data is huge, only we are going to use it. For a data where there are lots of rows that we use skew. So you meant to say a lot of rows in terms of single table, right? I have two tables. One table, it's a big data, sorry, a huge table. Another table is a small table. That's the time you definitely need to go for a replicated one. Whereas a skewed one, so where exactly is the benefit? The benefit is going to happen in the of, right? That's exactly what I'm trying to ask, right? This is happening in terms of map. So I am assuming you are able to picturize some sort of benefit is happening in the mapper phase over here. Where is my diagram? Yeah, in the mapper phase, right? Whereas when I did a skewed, which phase is getting the benefit? I mean, which phase is being actually control of the skewness over here? Who is in control of that skewness part? Can you able to understand that concept? Skewness concept, you guys all understood the skewness concept, right? Skewness concept is nothing but my Excel sheet. Yeah. I'm assuming skewness understood. Skewness and how exactly. Okay. Right? Anyone have any doubt in the skewness part of it? Right? Okay. Skewness. Yeah. Okay, no issues. So let's make it very quick. This two data, if I have a data over here and a minor data over here, so what will happen? Data is not consistent. We're talking about is not consistent. So the issue over here is this data, these two rows is going to come to the. Oh, is this an issue with everyone? Is this because of my installation change? Voice is a degraded one. I mean, you are not able to. Not able to hear me properly. Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, oh, that's not pretty cool. Okay, let me also try getting the recording once the moment it's been uploaded. Yeah, that's not something. So I'll make sure that in case if there is some sort of a glitch or something, I'll try to explain that stuff pretty. Not sure why exactly that should happen with the change in environment or there is some sort of issue. Oh man, that's not so cool. Oh, not sure how to handle that now. Okay, let's try my best. I mean, I'll try to take up this thing, and if everything is fine. So in case not, I'll make sure somehow I do make sure that you understand this stuff pretty fine. Okay, yeah. So you need to understand this particular guy is going over this particular reducer. So this in the reduce phase, whereas the replicated stuff what we spoke about was happening in the map phase. That's the difference I was trying to make you understand. One is in reduced phase, the one is in mapper phase. So which one in mapper phase, which one in reducer phase? I just want you to have an idea. And make sure you're going to listen to this recording once again or whatever. Make sure you have a pen and piece of and try to draw this stuff so that it get really registered in your mind. So and then yeah, we're going to execute it. That should be pretty much you should be able to do it. No, skewed is not. That's correct. No. Skewed is not map. So this is what our skewed data, what we spoke about, right? So skewed, what is happening? So whenever the skewed data, okay, one thing that you need to understand pretty clear is we explained our map reduce concept, right? There was a mapper, there was a reducer key in key, value in, value out. Everyone do recollect that, right? Mapper, what happened? Key in, key. Every key was being coming together, right? Every key was given. So Hadoop one, Hadoop. Everyone remember that concept. So Hadoop one stuff was coming up, correct? So that particular key, which is assigned to one, that should go. If that is pretty huge in size, okay, that's going to give a degrading performance, right? Whereas if there's only two, it may give a better performance. But if there's 1 million for one single record, it's going to degrade the performance. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So when a data goes from a mapper to a reducer, is what I'm talking about. So in case you're not able to really capture that concept, I'll explain it once again when I have environment set properly. So don't worry about it. But to answer your question, Replication is in the mapper, skewness is in the reducer. That's exactly what I want to say. Okay. Okay. So now, what is the next part? Okay, one more stuff is there lying. It might be too much of. Okay, so this should not take you guys for an execution perspective 20 minutes. I want some sort of a work to be done over here. The next one, what we are going to do is, I want every one of you to execute this stuff, which is in this today's code. Okay, which is nothing but let's park this aside. So this two stuff, it might be a slightly straightforward how to do an XML handling. There is nothing that even my explanation is just one-page document. So this particular XML file, we're just going to process it. That's all you're going to do. So that all is being done by a jar file. Okay, where is that jar now? Yeah, so this jar file is going to do all the trick for you. Okay, and this is where the flatten stuff. So someone was interested in the flatten stuff, right? Or in fact, I have mentioned about the flatten. Where? Oh, what's happening now? XML use pig. Enable editing. Okay. Yeah. So this I want you guys to execute once and see how exactly you see it. Is there any issue in executing? So what is happening over here is using pig, you are processing your XML file. That's exactly what you're doing. Okay. So there is a jar file, existing jar file, which is doing all the trick for you. So pig underscore XML.jar. That's all you need to do. Register this particular jar. Okay. You're going to download it, and from that downloaded one, you're just going to register it. And then you're just going to load it. Load the input file and then use this data you're going to. So it's a lot more work than what used to happen in a normal class session. Other one, what I want to execute is writing a pig UDF. The three things for Thursday session, so that we don't waste much of a time. So, and these are all pretty easy stuff to do. So make sure you're doing that. So what exactly this means? A UDF, writing a UDF. So every time, what exactly is a UDF? So what we covered today is, first one is join. There are three types of joins. One is replicated, merge, and then skewed one. Okay, so it's easy stuff, maybe 20 minutes for you to execute. The next one is an XML file. How exactly you're going to use an XML file? That's going to just straightforward stuff. There's nothing much of an explanation over there. There is a jar file, pig underscore XML jar thing, which will help you to do this processing. That's exactly the magic of the jar file is what you're finally going to see. Okay, what it's going to do is pick up an XML file, convert into a pig understandable format. That's what being done by the pig XML file. And now the third one, what you have waiting a pig UDF. This one. What exactly is the UDF? Anyone understand? Anyone knows what is a UDF? What is a UDF? Yeah, defined function, right? So what do I mean by user-defined function is the first question. Yeah. So a user-defined function is nothing but I do not have some function. So basically, if you are a SQL programmer or as a basic SQL something, if you run select star from table name and all those things, right? But think of an example where you in a report, okay, your client is expecting every data that is being pulled out should be in uppercase, right? So a customer-based data. Okay, you have a telephone number, you have a customer name. Okay, and the client is telling that I want to get a report generated with a telephone number and a name, but make sure every of the name comes in uppercase. I don't want to have a camel case. I don't want to have a lowercase data. Everything should be in one uniform uppercase. So what are you going to do now? So you can't, I mean, either you have to transport this in an Excel file and then do a function right on it, and uppercase function, all those things, right? So exactly the similar way, what you can do is you can write your own function. A small Java, when I say function, it's nothing but a small Java program, okay, which does the functionality of converting the existing, any data that comes into it, it's going to take it and read it, make it as an uppercase, okay? Yeah, you define that particular function on your own specific function you are going to mention, and that function you are going to register first in the pig environment, okay? Write your function, register your function, and then use your function. That's the 3 steps that you need to do, okay? So that's what you see over here. So you need to do this in your Java file, okay? Registering it, it's a very, very nicely documented. Everything is documented step by step. So first you're going to do this. Open your Eclipse, create a new file. I mean, to create a new class, make it as a Java file. You do this. After that, removing jar, removing error, everything is being shown over here one by one, even though if it did one. So those of you guys who are not done, step by step. Now exporting a jar shown, you're creating a jar file out of it. That has been shown. Okay. And then this is how exactly the data was looking when you did what? Let me just minimize this. So this is what? So when I did a command, like select name, age, and GPA, name, age, and GPA, this is how it was coming. Okay. So now what command I'm going to run is, see, I have registered, I have loaded the table. For each generate, UDF proj dot upper is my user defined function. So let's do this in the next session. Okay. So at least let's one of these stuff. But I really want you to give it a try, and then make sure if you're able to do it, you'll be able to understand the class much better. So just give it a try. Exactly step by step information is being mentioned over here. Is this stuff which you can copy? No, you can't. So you may have to type in this command. Okay. So yeah, the commands are all given over here. So upper of name, what will happen? The uppercase of the name is going to go. Right. Dumpy. Okay. So is this clear, or it might be slightly faster? We have rushed through it, but yeah, I would recommend definitely to execute it, because executing it, even if you don't understand it, make sure you're going to execute it once, so that next time you do it, it's much easier for you to understand what is the concept. I do understand the time crunch, so everything of this can be done. So you have tomorrow, you have day after tomorrow. So maybe half an hour or 15, maybe another 40 minutes if you spend, every step should be able to, or if you think you don't have enough time, just execute it. That's all. Just take some half an hour time and then just blindly execute it and see the results, so that you know what exactly you're doing. Was complete nowhere in picture this UDF function, or was it okay kind? Yeah, looking at everyone's response, looks like some sort of a bounces. Okay, let's try executing this once. We'll do that in the next session. We will try executing from our end, so that we get the concept clear. Okay, but I definitely want you guys also to try it, so that no need to understand it in depth or anything. Just take some pain of executing it. That's all I want you guys to do. Oh, concept wise good. Okay, I'll just try to see what can be done, or if I want to shift back, it will be a humongous task for me to shift back. I think I might have to do something for this. Voice problem was there. So I'm not sure if when you convert from Windows to Mac, Mac to Windows, there is some sort of a plugin available. Plugin needs to be done for. Okay. So let me try updating my. Yeah, my neck connection should be fine because I have a small partition being done in. I was trying all this stuff in my Mac environment, but that looks pretty okay. Everything was fine, connection wise. It's full signal for me. So let me give it a try once again. So I do my groundwork and be much well prepared for the Thursday one. But yeah, request to you guys is please try to execute this stuff. So unless and until we don't execute it, you really don't have that grip or this thing. You will not be able to get it. See, I can just keep blabbering fundas over there and here, but that's not going to really help. So make sure you are getting that hold of it. So I would assume Thursday sessions when you have it all executed. Yeah. Uh, all right. Okay. All right. So I don't want to hold you guys anymore. So in case if you don't have any questions, you guys have a wonderful day. Sorry, wonderful night. And speak to you on next Thursday. Okay. Yeah. So what I would say, don't spend too much of time in case if you are this thing. So we are going to have uh, at a high level view, we'll try to do an execution. So it's really not big funda that we're doing over here, but try to execute at least some of these concepts should be fine. So what I would send you in case if you want to just ease in your burden, leave about this UDF stuff. Let's do it a hands-on in the next session. Okay, let's do this UDF stuff in the next session, and try to do only those. Oh, today is Thursday, is it? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. I'm back from a big this thing. Yeah, next Tuesday, correct. I'm extremely sorry. I said I was keep mentioning on Thursday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Sorry. It's on Tuesday, correct. Oh, what's Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. All right. All right. I don't want to hold you guys anymore. So, oh yeah, then I do have a lot of time to do all the stuff. Yeah, I'll keep myself much more better prepared coming on the Tuesday session. Thank you. Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much.